एक और बार कर लेते हैं.
क्यों?
My hair was looking bad. Please.
ठीक है.
We are reshooting this because my hair was.
नखरे.
Yes.
हाय नखरे. उफ नखरे.
यार मेरा hair हिल जाएगा.
You want me to check again in front of the camera? Hi guys, I gotta check her hair. It's giving.
It's okay.
It's giving.
Let's go.
Let's give.
Let's go.
Podcasting.
We all love to watch people talk to their friends about the weirdest things in the world.
There is just something about podcasting that makes us give up on our lives and just come and watch these people talk simple conversations for hours and hours together.
But what is it about podcast that it has taken the world by the storm?
What is it about these manufactured but still unfiltered conversations that makes us want to rethink our short attention spans?
And most importantly, is it time for everyone to get their friends together, set up a mic and start podcasting?
Well, I'm Aryan Sharma.
I'm Paridhi Sinha. We are Table for Two.
And today we bring to the table
that why everybody is podcasting, from Urfi Javed to the granddaughter of Amitabh Bachchan, Navya Naveli Nanda, to
Nikhil Kamath and other businessmen like Raj Shamani.
So today we'll dive into what are the weirdest things that we would have heard in the podcast that would probably get censored in the other media way.
Yeah, she's talking about news, but I don't think news gets censored anymore.
मुझे ड्रग्स दो वो कहती है मुझे ड्रग्स दो
Chad Arnab.
Is it?
मेरे लिए गांजा लाओ चरस लाओ एमडीएमए लाओ एक्सटेसी लाओ अरे
Arnab doesn't get censored.
So, what do you think? Why is everybody doing podcasting and why is it so hot in India right now?
So this question has like multiple ways to approach the answer. The first one would be the fact that podcasting took over as a culture abroad. So there were a lot of kinds of YouTube videos that were being made, from skits, sketches to like people playing video games and streaming them online, like PewDiePie and a lot of gamer YouTubers, a lot of skit YouTubers, a lot of lifestyle vloggers and all of those kinds of YouTube. And people slowly realize that takes a lot of time and energy to make, editing it, shooting it. Skits require like a lot of scripting. Even the gamer videos require you to keep playing a game and still be engaging all the time. Like you have to have a twin mindset for that. And soon I guess people realize that sitting together and talking works. I guess Joe Rogan was one of the first people to recognize this.
They started off with just smoking pot on the podcast, but then they've tried shrooms on the podcast. They've tried, I guess, DMT and salvia on the podcast. They go insane. कुछ भी नशे करने लग जाते हैं podcast पे. What about you? What's the weirdest thing you've seen in a podcast?
That untriggered podcast. No, actually, it wasn't Having Said That show podcast. When Stewie came and he's like, you know, what's my favorite memory in the entire school life? And guess what? It's not of a girl or anything, but it's of a boy that he sees in his school when they are swimming. And basically, he doesn't choose to swim that day because it's very dirty. People shit and everything. Not shit.
Pee and everything.
Pee and everything. And it's just yuck. So, and he was just sitting. And then he sees from a distance that there's a guy. He's in a swimsuit. And like, his
hand is in his pant.
Yeah. And he's whacking his stick. He's like, bad boy, bad boy. He's trying to put it in, but it's not good.
This is just crazy.
Yeah.
Podcasts, the future of journalism.
Is it?
Is it not?
I mean, it's funny to hear all that. You know, notice this one thing. So, this is my opinion. When like Nikhil Kamath brings 2 to 3 guests together, it's like they can give you more biased opinion, more true version. Versus, if somebody is just interviewing one person, like when he interviewed Bill Gates one-on-one, to be honest.
That's not his fault, it's Bill Gates' fault. Then you would have to get like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
And Jeff
then
Bezos.
They're just gonna start like fighting. Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are going to be like, Aaj? Haan bhai, aaj. Tesla stock and Meta stock goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos being like, once we were the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
Once upon a time. Jeff Bezos क्या कर रहा है आजकल? वो न्यूज़ में नहीं आता आजकल.
And also, what about Adani and Ambani, guys?
They won't talk. They'll be like, मोटा भाई, हाँ मोटा भाई, ढोकला, फाफड़ा, खाकरा, मुंड्रा.
And like Ambani is busy with the wedding, right? And then
I don't think he cares. I think the wedding is just happening and he's just like, कि मार्क भाई और जक भाई साथ में. मार्क और जक एक ही आदमी है. बिल भाई और जक भाई साथ में.
Yeah, Bill with his new girlfriend.
He has a new girlfriend. Also, have you guys seen the podcast Nikhil Kamath with what's her name? Kiran Mazumdar Shaw. So there they were just discussing about like Malia a lot, and they were like, well, he should come back to the country. He'll make the country grow again.
Well, he's a very dear old friend. He really livened up this city, this country.
Are we sure he'll make the country grow again? And like he might not take away all the money, but like Buddy is too flamboyant. As soon as he comes, he'll be like, oh, I want another model's photo shoot. I want another penthouse on the top of the tallest building in Bangalore. Brother is just extravagant.
Yeah.
You know his son's acted in a movie.
Along with Deepika Padukone, right?
I'm not sure about him along with Deepika Padukone, but he's acted in this very, very raunchy ass Indian sex comedy type movie called Brahman Naman.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Made by this director called Q. And Q makes very weird as extravagantly experimental movies. He made one called Gandu, which is, the movie's name is Gandu, and it's about this Bengali rapper who gets into the world of like drugs and like very weird drugs, like not normal drugs, like he's done dhatura and stuff in the movie.
Crazy.
And I would recommend every filmmaker to just start their own podcast. Imagine Anurag Kashyap, Ansal Mehta, and like these big Indian directors coming on a podcast together. It'll be fun.
Oh, there used to be a table thing that journalists used to do. What was it?
Rajiv Masand.
Yes.
The round table. But that's not a podcast.
I agree.
If it happens once a year, it's the blend between like a news panel and a podcast. The lines are so blurry,
Yeah.
and Rajiv Masand just dances on that line.
Right. What are your opinions on sober people, sober South Bombay people, coming together and podcasting?
I mean, they're just like us. Slightly more privileged. Slightly. I'm from South Bangalore. I'm soba.
And also the fact that,
Yeah, if you want to say the Kannada version, sobe. You were saying something.
and also it's funny, like I don't think so. When content creation first came, it was perceived the same way it's being perceived right now, where everybody's jumping on this bandwagon.
Yeah, because there's this thing. New tech is always considered like a toy until it just becomes big, that it's now the biggest thing. Like, let's start with mobile phones. Didn't everyone consider them toys? Smartphones especially, like when they started off, the only thing people used to use a smartphone was to call and to play video games. Flappy Bird, Subway Surfer, Angry Birds.
But now look, we have billionaires podcasting, dude.
And like, same thing's gonna happen with like VR and like the Meta Ray-Bans. Have you seen Varun Mayer's new video? Like he's talking about Meta Ray-Bans and
Yeah.
he's just talking about how they'll be the future of social media. And even though I personally don't understand the Meta Ray-Bans so much because they're new and even though they're cool, it takes time for like the newer generation to like completely accept it because it's not that, it doesn't have so many features as many as it promised. But soon, like the Apple Vision Pro and the Meta Ray-Bans are gonna like create something that's in the middle of these two spaces where AR and VR might just become a reality. Like Apple might come out with their glasses, Google will come out with their glasses again.
Yes, again. Also, the thing is, do you think like the way whatever videos we are playing right now, we'll be able to get the same feeling if we play it on a Meta Ray-Bans, or a different content need to be shot to give you the same feeling?
That we need to test, because the video call system in the Meta Ray-Bans is kind of good. You can kind of understand what's happening there. We're entering an era which is going to be similar to the metaverse, yet very different. We're going to have creators live streaming their entire day, and you can choose to stream whichever creator you want to, or completely ignore creators. Then everyone can model their own avatars, because these Meta Ray-Bans and all are going to have VR and AR functionalities in the future. So like, even though you're normal looking, whenever somebody puts on a Meta Ray-Ban, you will not look like that. Because if you're wearing your Ray-Bans at the same time, then they'll recognize that, oh, this is a Ray-Ban owner, and then they'll just connect you to the account that you've made, and through that account it'll show you that the character you've made and like the clothes you wear and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but what is definitely gonna happen, and like I'm betting on this 100% because I want to make content for this, is a blend between movies and video games, where you're gonna watch movies the way you play video games, and you're gonna play video games the way you watch movies, all through your glasses.
You know, have you noticed this inferiority complex that, like, remember in one of the interviews when Kareena Kapoor was asked what is your take on these media influencers coming and making a show on Netflix, and she was like, who are they?
Influencer.
And then you also see star kids like Navya Naveli and then Arbaz Khan's his son doing a podcast with him and getting millions of views.
So who do you think has the inferiority complex?
The celebrities.
I don't think they have a
I guess they have that insecurity.
It's not just an insecurity. See, Kareena Kapoor is one of the worst people to ask this question to, because she dominated cinema at a time. Like, dominated cinema. And then she married one of the richest people in India. He is one of the richest people in India, especially through his royal lineage and stuff.
Yeah.
And now, even though she still makes movies, first of all, movies are going away slowly. Even if they're not going away, people are watching movies on different devices than theaters. Theaters, they might be making a comeback, but then look at us around us. Like, Rockstar was on theaters for like a week. Why is Rockstar in theaters? Because nobody's watching new movies, I think. That's the biggest reason.
Right.
What
And
else?
it's not just happening in India, it's also happening in the West.
Yeah, like old movies are being rerun and rerun like on repeat. And yes, cinema has a chance, sure. But I don't think the star system has a chance anymore. Because like, sure, Shah Rukh Khan made like the 3 biggest movies last year. But is it sustainable? Like, he fell off with Donkey. He's gonna fall off more if he makes so many movies year on year. And the pandemic quite helped him out, but people do get busy and there are a lot of things that you're competing with. Like I said in this video, that you're competing with baby videos, you're competing with cat videos on the internet, you're competing with Arnab Goswami, you're competing with every single person making content. And content can be anything from news to a video game on your phone to podcasts to reels, everything. People like Kareena Kapoor should acknowledge that influencers are now the big thing and they're here to stay. They're not going away anywhere anytime soon. So yeah.
There's a reason why like Instagram is feeling like more of a marketing app, isn't it?
Instagram is a
And trust me, we got a house because of Instagram.
Yes, we found a rental agreement place on, like we found a rental house on Instagram and we took it and boom, now Instagram's helped us find a house. Also my job.
It was, oh yes, you see? No wonder why.
It's like social media is everywhere. If you want to ditch social media, ditch the internet. There's no way escaping this apart from that. Instagram just needs to make their search feature way better.
Way better. Then I guess.
That's where I love YouTube beyond any other social media.
Yes. That YouTube has killed it and that Instagram lacks.
You can't beat YouTube with video. What Instagram can beat YouTube at is personalized content. Even YouTube is peer generated, but in YouTube you don't have the option to make friends with people, right? YouTube doesn't like you sharing a video as much as it likes you being retained on a video. It wants you to watch the video for a longer period of time. Whereas Instagram loves the buttons. It wants to like it, it wants you to share it, it wants you to comment on it, it wants you to save it, it wants you to do anything related to any of the buttons. While YouTube, even though the buttons are preferred, just the watch time is what matters the most. It's just how much attention a person plays on your reel, or on your long form, or on your short form. That's the most
So
important.
if you want to say like, share and subscribe, you would rather say it.
No,
Like-
say like, share and subscribe on YouTube.
YouTube.
On Instagram, have a call to action which makes them definitely want to share it.
So, what do you think? Why is everybody doing podcasting and why is it so hot in India right now?
So this question has like multiple ways to approach the answer. The first one would be the fact that podcasting took over as a culture abroad. So there were a lot of kinds of YouTube videos that were being made, from skits, sketches, to like people playing video games and streaming them online, like PewDiePie and a lot of gamer YouTubers, a lot of skit YouTubers, a lot of lifestyle vloggers and all of those kinds of YouTube. And people slowly realize that that takes a lot of time and energy to make, editing it, shooting it. Skits require like a lot of scripting. Even the gamer videos require you to keep playing a game and still be engaging all the time. Like you have to have like a twin mindset for that. And soon I guess people realize that sitting together and talking works. I guess Joe Rogan was one of the first people to recognize this. So he was a comedian and also a commentator for UFC matches and a lot of like other wrestling. AIB. So All India Bakchod AIB started off as a podcast officially. Their first few things on YouTube were their podcasts. They used to bring people like Shah Rukh Khan, they used to bring people like Ranbir Kapoor, they used to bring each other and the other Indian comedians because they also saw the Joe Rogan trend take off and they were also comedians. It was the logical next step. And I guess even Ranbir Alabadia got his idea to start podcasting from there. I mean, the earliest few guests that he's gotten on his podcasts included people like Tanmay Bhatt and Zakir Khan, who were doing the AIB podcast themselves. And then there was this thing called SNG Comedy, which was a Indian YouTube channel, and they used to make skits, a lot of skits, and then they transformed from making skits into this podcast called The Internet Said So. And that podcast has been running since, I guess, way before COVID times, like since 2018, 2017. I guess it was directly after the Geo boom. I guess the Geo boom is what got a lot of Indians into podcasting.
I would say it's more like since Geo happened, like since the media became so much democratized, it was not just the news channel who were having, creating content in their hand, but now it just became even common people could put like content out there. I would say podcasting used to happen way back, like even news channel used to do it.
But a news,
It just evolved.
I wouldn't call a news panel to be a podcast exactly. But then a news panel is very hyper focused on its topic. Whereas the podcasting culture loves deviation from the topic. I guess like a deviation from the topic into personal conversations is what makes podcasts more interesting. I mean, take a look at the Untriggered podcast or the podcast that you're watching currently. They start off with a specific topic, but then slowly they get so derailed that they're just having fun banter amongst each other.
Right.
I guess the sticking to the information kind of topic wala podcasts like Nikhil Kamath's podcast do work, or like Varun Maya's podcast with Tanmay Bhatt.
OnePlus, yeah. He had a bunch of series together.
Yes, so those
Very
podcasts are more similar to news broadcasts, but then also I don't think a news broadcast goes for 5 or 6 hours. They come for half an hour and they go away. Maximum 1 hour.
Right. Now I'm even noticing this pattern. Like, I guess podcasts are becoming way more interesting than the explainer videos.
That's there. I guess it's because explainer videos are coming off as preachy and they do not have that connect that podcasts do. Again.
What connect do you get with podcasts but you don't get with the explainer videos?
So in explainer videos, okay, it's mostly editing heavy. Explainer videos love their thumbnails. that get attention of the people. Then they love that quick, catchy intro. They have this. I don't think podcasts ever have quick, catchy intros. They have this introduction of the people who are talking and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
controversial things are being said first.
the podcast takes at least 10 minutes to even build up and set up to the main point that they're getting to. Within that time, an explainer video is done.
Right.
An explainer video is meant to be like 7-8 minutes tops, otherwise the YouTube algorithm buries it.
Right. And also, what I feel is that explainer videos require way more cerebral capacity. Like, sometimes you need to focus on it visually, whereas podcast, you can just play it and just keep doing your work as well.
Yeah, they're like audiobooks. That is also why audiobooks took off.
Right.
And it's also why podcasts are being offered like incentives away from the video streaming world and into worlds like Spotify and Audible. These people are paying a lot of money to people to bring their podcasts to an audio only setup. It is soon going back to the days where like people used to listen to radio on the go.
Right. Don't you think the content creation is just becoming evolved version of journalism? Evolved.
No, because RJs and VJs have always existed. They weren't journalists.
Okay.
Radio jockeys, video jockeys,
But they were
MTV.
considered part of
No.
no?
Media professionals, yes.
Yeah, media professional.
Journalists are very specifically people who want to talk about the truth, who want to get news out. It's not only about vibes or feelings with journalists. On the opposite end, I think we were also taught not to talk about a lot of vibes and feelings. Talking about the truth. That is what journalism is. I guess calling content creators journalists or like an evolved version of journalists is doing a little bit of disservice to actual journalists who risk their lives to get like a lot of truth out.
I agree.
I get the format might be similar,
Yeah.
but the content is very different.
I agree. Content is different. But again, I feel like there were so many different kind of journalists. Remember the one who used to have chit chat with like actors?
Is he a romantic?
No.
Not with me.
Her clip has been going very viral if you have noticed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But
I don't know the name of that lady.
I think these film
And the reason behind her clip is going viral now is also, I think, somewhere to the connect that podcasting is getting.
True, yeah, that is
Yeah.
very true because that clip, the one she's referring about, is about a ex-film journalist who was delving a lot of secrets about a lot of Bollywood people online. I will not disclose the secrets because we don't believe them, but like I don't support what she
But
has
just
to say.
to tell them that what are we talking about.
Fair, we'll show you a clip. So I guess entertainment journalists have that slight leeway between content creators and journalists.
I agree.
Entertainment and lifestyle journalists, I would say.
Hmm.
But like political journalists, even sports journalists, and like people who talk about like issues of a city or like the country, I don't think these people are content creators or are just content
Are
creators.
actually content creators. Think School have started their content creation thing and they do talk about politics, growth of the country, and I guess even a foreign minister,
Then
Jai
that's
Shankar.
then that's not truly content creation only. I think that's journalism, and I think content creation includes journalism just like it includes making music or making movies. Take for instance what even Varun Ramaya and Tanmay Bhatt make on developments in the AI world. Yes, that is close to journalism, I would agree, but it has a lot of self-based opinions. It doesn't follow the news cycle. Some
Even
of the things,
journalism has opinion pieces. There is proper opinion column.
but that is very much substantiated by facts.
I agree.
The entire setup of that podcast is that Varun Maya, who is an expert on the topic, comes and gives more insights to a person who is representing the common people. Like Tanmay Bhatt's doing that.
over party.
So
yeah.
Tanmay Bhatt's opinions aren't journalistic in nature.
I agree.
So then you can't call that.
What is journalistic in nature?
I think journalistic
5 W's and H, I guess he does follow that somewhere.
No, I would call journalistic things in nature to be things backed by rigorous fact checking, by a narrative that wants to spread
I
the
guess
news
that's
first.
what Varun Maya brings in. And then Tanmay Bhatt just tries to,
I wouldn't say that also, because sometimes Arun Maya says things that
Like
a
what?
journalist would never say.
like,
Things like AI is gonna take over the world, and I hope that I am on their good side and stuff like that. Like, what journalist would say that? There are things about the YouTube content creation space that allow for journalists to speak their mind more freely, like Sandesh Bhatia with his unscripted. But there is also a level of accountability. There is also a lot of accountability attached with journalists that is not definitely attached with YouTube content creators.
podcasters, I would say. I agree. And there is not, for primary source of information, I think so that's not there many times. Maybe it can be there.
It is there, but the primary source of information is not used as just a primary source of information, but they say their opinions on that also. They break it down in their own ways. And I don't think podcasters have this fear of being wrong.
Yeah.
I think you're allowed to be wrong on a podcast because that is what builds this community where
Right.
people do reach out to you in their comments and either correct you or give you more information about the
Fear
topic.
is not that high as much a journalist would have in their prime time TV show.
Yes, because a journalist's job is that to be a journalist. All of India is looking at them knowing that this is not mostly an opinion, this is mostly a fact. So, Paridhi, so I wanted to ask you, what are your favorite podcasts and why are they your favorite?